So welcome all of you for the next module where we are going to discuss on the ulcer examination. With me is Dr. Vivek Bindal, who is a Vice Chairman at Gangaram Hospital. And today we are going to have a discussion on examination of an ulcer. So Dr. Vivek, what are the salient features when a student has to look upon, and before he examines the patient, a female patient, what are the prerequisite criteria?
Yeah, Professor Gandhi, I think a very important thing which we all should remember is whenever you are trying to examine a patient, you have to take the consent. If a female patient is there, you have to ensure that there is a chaperone, a female chaperone around you. It is a mandatory requirement. Also, the privacy of the patient should be respected, and it should be a private, secure area where you are going to examine the patient. Especially when we are talking about lower limb examination, you are actually going to examine the groin in all these patients and the private parts. So one has to be sure about the privacy and a secluded area where you can easily do it to the patient's comfort. Now, talking about the ulcer, here we can see this is an ulcer on in the right lower limb of this patient. And whenever we talk about any ulcer, we need to look at the ulcer per se. So we will inspect the ulcer, we will palpate the ulcer, we will have different characteristics of the ulcer examined. After that, you go to the surrounding area, you look for the surrounding skin, what are the changes which we'll talk about. Then you go and see for the arterial system of that particular limb, the venous system, and the lymph node drainage. So basically, you go from inside out, you look at the ulcer, the surrounding area, the arterial, venous, and the lymphatic system of that particular limb to ascertain the cause and the extent and the differential diagnosis for the ulcer. So how do you examine an ulcer, Professor Gandhi?
So since you have mentioned the salient features, we would probably go in from inside out model, which Dr. Vivek has rightly said that you focus on the ulcer per se, then you go to the outside part, draining lymphatics. In the history, most of the times you will get a clue whether the patient has got an underlying venous or an arterial disease, but some of the signs which will be elicited, to make out whether the patient has any underlying problem or no. So most important is that when you look at the ulcer, I think we can just zoom that. Yeah. So most important is to tell us the site and the size. That's what we begin with. So you can see this elderly gentleman here, and this is his right lower limb, and you can see this is typically situated over the medial aspect of the lower limb, typically the lower 1/3 of the leg where the ulcer is situated. So there is a single ulcer, and it is situated on the right lower limb on the medial aspect, which we also probably would describe it as a Gator's area. The word Gator comes from the sheath or the envelope which was used in the good old days where it was getting covered. The lower limb used to get covered with the help of a canvas or a leather. It was used when people used to go for military warfare. Then slowly it started getting used for mountaineering, where people wanted to prevent any injuries to the snow or dust or, the typical lower part. So it is to be worn on that area, and the area which it covers is the typical lower 1/3 of the leg, and that is why it is known as a Gator's area. So that's for the benefit of the students. So coming to this, on the inspection, there is a single ulcer which is situated. Most importantly is to talk about the dimensions. So if you see that it is around elongated in shape, and roughly on inspection it measures about 10 centimeters, and in the breadth it is about 6 centimeters in the dimensions. So these are the findings on the inspection. You can see the presence of granulation tissue on the surface of that. So you can see that there is a granulation tissue which is not looking very healthy, but there are spots which are yellowish in color, and there are certain spots which are looking red. And you can see the margin of the ulcer. The margin of the ulcer is the area between the skin, normal skin, and the edge of the ulcer. So the margin of the ulcer here is looking a little sloping. At times there are little fibrotic edges also around it. And so these are the findings which you will be summarizing on the inspection of the ulcer. Once we have described that, we will be describing everything about the ulcer, and then we will be going to the surrounding areas and the lymph nodes.
So also, as Professor Gandhi mentioned about the size, so you should have a measuring tape and with which you can measure the size. So this is something which you do for typically all ulcers and swellings. Can you go back on the previous slide? So
keep it here only.
Basically, after you inspect the ulcer thoroughly, then you would palpate it, and you would palpate to look for the base of the ulcer, how the base is it rigid, is the ulcer, you have to assess the depth of the ulcer, is it kind of bone deep or is it going into the subcutaneous tissue. The edge of the ulcer is to be seen, whether it is active. Most of the activity is typically at the edge of the ulcer, which you would see. Any discharge from the ulcer is to be seen, whether it is giving a purulent discharge or is there a serous discharge. The kind of granulation tissue would reflect whether the ulcer is healing well or is it an unhealthy ulcer which requires more debridement in times to come. The relationship to the structures around the ulcer is very important. The relation it has with the major vessels around it, with the relation to the nerves, it would be dependent. Sometimes the ulcer can erode into the vessels and it can lead to bleeding, as well as it can cause pain by eroding into the nerves. The lymphatic drainage of that ulcer should be always examined. So in a lower limb, you would always go up to the groins and examine for the lymph nodes. So a lot of things you have to see in palpation also. Professor Gandhi, would you like to add?
Yeah, so just to summarize what Dr. Vivek mentioned is that A is to first ask the patient what are the points of tenderness when you start palpating. So ask the patient, if there is in a particular area, यहाँ पे कहीं पे दर्द हो रहा है? कहाँ पे इधर दर्द है? Yeah. So areas where there is pain, one needs to be very gentle with the patient because then he will cooperate with you. So always ask the patient first whether he's getting any area which is a painful sensation. Like we saw the inspectory findings, the way you have to mention in exam is that on palpation, I have confirmed the findings of inspection. That means you have confirmed that the ulcer is 10 centimeter by 6 centimeters in the horizontal and vertical direction. You have also seen, so what we see on the inspection is we see the floor. On the floor, we could see there is a granulation tissue. But what we see on the palpation is that you feel the ulcer and you can see that it is resting on the underlying muscles. So this is what you talk about in the base, that on what it is resting. Sometimes the ulcer may be resting directly on a particular bone and you may see some granulation tissue there. So this is what you talk about when you talk about the base of the ulcer. Discharge, the best place to see for the discharge is on the dressings, because so when the patient was uncovered, we could see that he had a little seropurulent discharge on the dressing, because that is the best side, because all the ulcers may not be actively oozing. So when you have a discharge, always look at the dressing of the patient, which will tell you where exactly the discharge is. In this particular gentleman, you can see that he also has got some pigmentation in the surrounding area. So Dr. Vivek, would you like to tell us that what would be the features, how would one make out whether the patient has got any, changes related to the venous disease?
Yeah, I think in venous disease what happens is there is a high pressure inside the veins because of lack of return of blood, and that leads to extravasation of red blood cells into the surrounding connective tissue. And that leads to engulfment of these RBCs by the macrophages, leading to hemosiderin deposit, and that is what is called as hemosiderosis.
Yeah, so you can see some patches here in this patient. Even on the other side also he's got some pigmentation there. I think we can also see some pigmentation here and scarring here, what you have rightly pointed out. So there could be some amount of venous pressure which may be high in this gentleman. Yes.
Absolutely, and this is a typical lower limb which you would, just by inspection can confirm that this gentleman is having a venous hypertension of the lower limb, leading to secondary changes like hemosiderosis, as well as, in chronic diseases, chronic venous insufficiency, you would get lipodermatosclerosis because of, the fat as well getting changed because of the pressure, and there is secondary change like this ulcer has developed here because of the same venous hypertension.